wanting a divorce after my wife gave me a concussion. After work, I was playing with my son and went to the kitchen to throw out a diaper. When I walked into the room, my wife started shouting at me, claiming I hadn't been doing anything since I got home. Mind you, I had just spent 2 hours cleaning the kitchen, washing dishes, picking up the living room and putting my daughter to bed before going to the living room to play with my son while I continued to pick up. I was frustrated by her comment and asked her what she meant and outlined everything I had been doing. I left the room and started to walk up the stairs to my living room. I was struck in the side of head with a sealed cardboard box weighing about 2 pounds. This was from about 15 feet away and thrown at full force. So I was dazed for a moment. After confronting her about why she did this, she continued to yell at me and didn't show any concern. Upset and in quite a bit of pain, I went to sit with my son and process what had just happened. After about 45 minutes, I was experiencing a growing headache and having some problems with the muscles in the right side of my face and jaw. I gave her my son and told her I had to go to the ER because something wasn't right. I ended up spending the night in a hotel, and the next day began contacting Resourced and scheduling follow medical and mental health appointments. The headache lasted 8 days, and I experienced a wide range of symptoms related to head injury. I missed over a full week of work, and it has been a pretty difficult experience navigating all my emotions while recovering and experiencing some bizarre cognitive issues. Needless to say, I've been keeping my distance from my wife while I've been recovering. Over the last few years, I've also been dealing with regular emotional abuse in the form of insults, constant belittling, and threats of divorce. This is probably the 6th incident of violent behavior from her in the last 7 years, and the only time she had used an object, and I have serious concern that she could have just as easily thrown something that could have broken my skull. She has no diagnosed mental health disorders, but how out of control she is when she is angry is now very alarming, and it seems to be escalating. Additionally, she refuses to apologize for any of her words or actions since I met her, even after a diagnosed concussion. All she will say regarding this event are things like, I didn't mean it. I can't aim that well. Over the last week, I was essentially living in a blacked-out bedroom and listening to audiobooks between my frequent naps. Up to yesterday, I have avoided engaging her in conversation, or anything that seems like I'm being baited into an argument. I don't have the mental or emotional capacity to handle an emotionally charged conversation, and wanted to focus on my recovery. Last night I told her I've been walking on eggshells around her for the last year. I'm not comfortable being around her and don't see there being any way to mend the relationship after this. Her response has been to schedule marriage counseling, and she keeps making strange comments about how I have to be willing to make it work for counseling to be effective. I decided to pursue divorcing her, and I think a large part of telling so many people is to force my own hand due to the embarrassment and shame that staying with her would cause.